out to Mark Mitchell, and many of you will either know or have been helped by Mark Mitchell. And Mark was elected to the board of MS Ireland in September of 2012, after many years of hands-on work at the branch level in his native Wicklow. He was the Greystone Person of the Year and the MS Person of the Year in 2011, and he also accepted the Volunteer Ireland Award from President Michael D. Higgins in that same year. So he's kind of a thing. Mark is a doer, and he believes that the words no and can't don't apply. There is always a solution, and I love this. There's always a solution. It's all about finding that solution. And so to talk about the importance of volunteerism in the MS community and how that can help all of us, including yourselves, please welcome Mark Mitchell. So I'm going to just take this. And sometimes just making it to the stage is an accomplishment. Very good. Now, Mark not only uses the rollator as an assistive device. Boy, that's going to be tough. Assistive device. He has another piece of equipment here which is really brilliant, and I'm going to have him explain that once he gets it. Well done. How about a round of applause, Mark? We're just going to get a regular chair, all right? Never let it said that we're not going to be an accommodating lot here, right? On a hot day like this, I think you're the smart one for wearing your short pants today, Mark. I'm roasting. All right. So is this all right, me holding the microphone like this? All right, so let's start out, Mark. This other assistive device that you're using. What?
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Hi.
So now this is great. As he's typing, I can see it. So if we're just having a conversation.
This is called a light writer.
All right, this is called the light writer. So as he's typing it, I can read it if we're just having a conversation one-on-one. But in a group like this, or at dinner last night, the whole table was able to hear.
And it's my lifesaver.
Absolutely. So we're going to give this a shot as an interview.
Right.
All right. So I read this list of amazing volunteer accomplishments you've had. So how did you didn't just end up as the Volunteer of Ireland of the Year. How did you get started in volunteering? Now that might be MS or otherwise. He's a pretty fast one-finger typer, too.
I went to our GM and said, I can help here.
I can help here. I like that. Now, I'm going to expand on that, but I'm going to ask you a question that you can answer while I'm expanding on that. You worked in a high-power industry of recruitment, and now that takes a certain set of special skills. As you said, or as I quoted you, it's all about finding a way around it. How did you use those skills from being a recruiter to turn it into volunteerism. And while you're typing that, his answer to the last question, I think, is really important. He said, how can I help? That's really all we have to do is, how can I help? We all have something that we can give back to our community, either the MS community or the larger community. So I think that asking, how can I help, is the perfect way to start. So how did you turn your former self into your current self?
Communications, business management skill and drive.
And drive. Speaking of drive, he was in the board meeting. He came in here for the beginning of this. He went and sat in on the board meeting. Now he's back to be part of here. Talk about drive. I know a lot of people who don't have multiple sclerosis or any other challenges that don't have this kind of drive. Mark, volunteering is good for the organization, but it's also very good for the person who's volunteering. How has being a part of MS Ireland changed you as a person as well? How is volunteerism that you do? How it's changed many. A show of hands of people who've met Mark, have been inspired by Mark before today. Yeah, it's massive. Look at what you've done. So it's affected you, but how has it affected you, Mark?
It's a wonderful organization to be in, so I do what I can, and just wish I could do more.
I wish I could do more. I wish I could do more. That's impressive. It really is. And I think that all of us, particularly if we're taken out of our jobs, etc., and we feel like we'd like to give back to the community, I think that's you are certainly a symbol of how to make that happen.
This is my society and everyone here also, so do what you can, no matter how small.
Jeez, that's a pretty big lesson right there. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to open this up to the panel. Everybody can do something. How do you recommend that people get involved? And so the way that we're going to work the questions part of this, if you have a question for Mark, Mark is going to take the question and he'll begin typing. We'll move on to another question so that he can type, and then we'll take another question for another member of the panel. So let's not ask two questions of Mark in a row. That'll back him up. We'll have a traffic jam over here. So how should people get involved, Mark?
Go to your local branch meeting or contact the national office.
All right. That's the way to get it done. What an inspiration. Thank you, Mark.